Welcome to the Chompcast, the podcast that brings the crew of Sword Chomp together to discuss our lives and video games and everything in between. Thanks for joining us. My name is Morgan Barnes, and I am joined by my good friends and fellow co-hosts, the crew of Sword Chomp, Joshua Fowler.
Hey, guys.
I didn't understand. Hey, guys. Josh is having a stroke. Shay Layton. And Jeff Australia. Anthony Fisher.
I think we got some zombies up in here that need to be blown apart.
Well, we're stroking, Fish. We're all stroking.
Oh, okay. I just walked into a room here and you guys are just circled around each other making incoherent sounds to each other.
It all makes sense now. We're all
Get with the
stroking, Fish, come on
MP3,
in.
catfish.
Oh shit!
It's all now that sound Josh made makes so much more sense. He's probably just excited for today's show because we have a great show lined up for our listeners. It's been kind of a bit quiet in the gaming world because we're all waiting for Horizon to drop next week, and you got Zelda and the Switch in the upcoming weeks, and Mass Effect. A bunch of stuff coming up in some of the busiest couple weeks we are going to have all year. So we at Sword Chomp have been all over the place. We have some Gravity Rush 2 talk. We have some Mario talk, including some great feedback that I got from the Instagram in regards to some Mario questions for the question of the week. We have some more Nioh talk and Fire Emblem talk, much more. We'll kind of hit all the heavy hitters here in a little bit, all over the place, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Also in news, we have a sad gaming incident involving a streamer. I almost said streaker, which would have been weird. Nioh sales.
That would explain a lot.
We have some Nioh sales, a Joy-Con issue that we can help kind of delve into, and Josh can help us actually, and some Mass Effect hype news, and of course, last but not least, as Shay mentioned, Fish's veiny penis. So it's going to be a great show. Fish joining us in the flesh, with his flesh, joining the circle here. How are you doing this week, Fish?
I got my veins out, pumped and ready. I'm doing pretty good. Yesterday I had my daughter's school had a father-daughter dance that I went to. It was very adorable. All the fathers and daughters of the school all met in the cafeteria at like 6 o'clock at night, and we all danced or attempted to dance. A lot of dads weren't actually. Yeah, it was. I mean, my daughter loved it. Like, if you could just I'm just like, I guess her face while we were just like slow dancing, and her looking up to me, it was like, it's so adorable. Like, I was choking up at that moment. I was just like, oh my god, it's so yeah, it was nice.
I've never done anything like that with my kid. That'd be awesome. Well, I remember at the beginning of the week too, you were telling me you went to a drive-in movie with your family.
Yeah, we also did that last Saturday. That was fun. It was the first time I went to a drive-in since living here in Texas. I've been to one in California, but no, it's been like 20 years since I've been to a drive-in, and it was pretty cool. We sat outside of our car instead of sitting inside of it. And it was kind of nice. It was a little cold, but we had blankets and hoodies and whatnot to keep us all bundled up. And it's quite an experience, but we ended up watching The Great Wall, I think, with Mark Wahlberg and some other guy.
Wait, wasn't that Matt? I thought that was Matt Damon. Oh, that movie looked rough. How was that?
Yeah, Matt Damon, yeah, you're right. It was terrible, but...
Do all white people look the same to you, Fish? Is this
You racist son of a bitch!
Actually, it's the opposite. I see all Asians.
They all look the same to me too, Fish. It's okay.
We do all look the same.
One. Holy shit! Yeah. No, that movie sucked, but drive-ins usually have like a double header. So there was a second movie that played at like 10:30 at night. My wife and daughter were kind of passing out in the car, so they went off to bed. And Split, M. Night Shyamalan's Split came on, and I didn't even know we were gonna watch it. My father-in-law was just like, "Yeah, just pick this showing at this time." I was like, "Okay." But yeah, it was a nice surprise to have Split played for the second round, and that was a good movie.
Awesome. Well, I am glad to hear. That is awesome. I was so excited because I've been trying to talk to everyone about Split. I'm actually supposed to watch another M. Night Shyamalan movie with my lady tonight because after Split, I was kind of getting her into some of his past stuff, the good stuff, minus Last Airbender and.
I was gonna say you should definitely go watch Last Airbender then.
I don't even count that as a Shyamalan movie. That's just some weird thing that exists in some sort of parallel dimension where M. Night Shyamalan's name got patched onto it somehow.
Yeah, that just was like one of the most abysmal things I've ever seen.
I still have this theory that like parents sometimes kind of create things for their kids, and as his kids were growing up, like he wanted to make Lady in the Water for his children as like a bedtime story, and they really got into The Last Airbender, and I just kind of feel like he got pulled out of his element a little bit. But he's back. He's back. Yeah, I saw Split Fish. It's fucking great. It's actually connected with Unbreakable, but we won't go into that too much right now because this isn't an M. Night Shyamalan podcast. Even though I wish it was. Fish is going to talk to us about Nioh in a little bit too. Been playing some Nioh, Fish, a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. Went through its tutorial, or I guess its first stage, which serves as a tutorial. And then I played its tutorial, then I got into the game, which was just, it's a weird pacing at the beginning, and it threw me off. I've honestly don't think I've ever experienced anything like that in a game where you play the game and you actually end up fighting a boss, and then you go into like this weird tutorial mode. It just very weird, but yeah, been playing that a little bit.
A little taste of Nioh. Okay, when we come back around, we'll get your thoughts on Nioh. I'm glad you're kind of weighing in on that after Shay's been talking to us quite a bit about Nioh. So glad to have you here, Fish. Thanks for joining us. Our creepy little circle jerk. Shay is here. How are you doing, Shay?
I'm good. I'm really excited to talk about games this week. I have tried to get in a lot of gaming. Part of it due to me being sick this week, so kind of did this like half nap, half video game subconscious business or whatever, half conscious. But it's been, I've had a really good week. I played Walking Dead Season 1 again after playing the first 2 episodes of Season 3. I was inspired to go through the whole series again because I just absolutely love the Telltale games. And it's been fun. I got to kind of remind myself of what kind of goes on in the story. So played that. They had a free weekend for NBA 2K17 this past weekend. And I wanted to try that. I've been wanting to try it for a while just because I love basketball. And it was a pretty big disappointment, to be honest with you. Basically everything you do in that game is just based around microtransactions. So like you play a match or you do some sort of challenge and then it's like, you should buy these points. That would make you more competitive online. And the controls were weird. Like I would try and do certain things with the controls, like get a character to set a screen for me and stuff like that. And it wasn't working. So
Weird.
I didn't have very much fun with it. It may have been because it was the free version that all the kinks weren't worked out. But yeah, I didn't have very much fun. I tried it 2 separate times, and after the second time, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Very rarely I will also drift into like a basketball mood where I know one time me and Fish were in it, I think it was like NBA 2K14 or whatever. I mean, I have to be in the mood because as a gamer, that they're all kind of the same. Like every year it's like spend $60 for basically a prettier version of kind of the same. It's always kind of the same thing. It's like Madden at this point. But if you're a fan of the game and you want like the newest version if your friends come over and you want to play, if you're in the mood for basketball, they're fun. They're really fun games. They're really well made. Usually.
It felt like the world's most ridiculous fighting game because there's so many different things you have to do and so many combos you have to remember in order to get your players to do certain things. Like if you want to do a layup or a reverse layup or a slam dunk or a two-handed slam dunk or a screen, or you want your player to do this, you have to memorize all these combinations of buttons. and then they weren't even working half the time. So I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. Me and Fish usually just hang back and shoot threes all day. Three. If only 15% of them go in, it's still
that's how you
it's
do
good
it.
Time.
It's like the real NBA nowadays.
Well, it's satisfying because you have to like release the joystick like right as your character's like wrist is kind of snapping. Like it's timed like. For people who are a little skeptical, the games are actually there's a timing system, and then like your character is better on the court depending on where they are in real life. Like if they're really good at shooting the corner three, if you shoot it from the three, you'll have a corner, you'll have a higher percentage chance of making a shot. So there's actually a lot going into it. If you know your team and your players really well, you can kind of get into a good rhythm.
Yeah, that I agree with. They try and plan out the player's percentage rating on the game, and they do it pretty well, and they put a lot of thought into it. I think it probably was just the free version, but it was not enjoyable to me at all. But moving on from that, no more basketball talk. I also got into Fire Emblem Fates Birthright after playing the mobile game long enough. So
I'm excited to hear about this.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, I'm sure. And then Gravity Rush 2. Yeah, that game is... I'm so excited to talk about that game. So I'll save my excitement on that game. But yeah, it's been a great week of gaming.
I'll probably loop back around and we can start talking about some other stuff too. And we'll leave Gravity Rush for last because it's kind of the closest thing we have to a doubleheader. But how's your week been, man? You getting ready for your move? Like how's life been, non-gaming related?
Yeah, I got to start packing this week. I really do, because I leave this city I've been in 2 weeks to the day, actually. So I need to start packing, and I just need to figure out kind of the logistics, like everything I'm going to be taking and everything I'm going to be leaving behind, and then stuff that I don't need, because you go to college and you grab things that you need, and then when you're out of college you're like, well, do I need 12 bookshelves anymore? No, I don't. Or do I need
only 11? You just need 11 bookshelves.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go through my stuff, kind of try and minimize the amount of stuff I have, so eventually when I come back I don't have to rent a massive U-Haul. I can always just repurchase that stuff or use the stuff I have and just be happy with it. I'm the type of person that doesn't like to have mass amounts of things. I used to be a big collector in my day, and now as I get older I try and minimize more and more, because you move around so much when you're an adult, as Josh is also figuring out, and you don't want to be carrying around like fucking 100 boxes and renting a U-Haul you have to rent a U-Haul generally, but I mean, being a single man, I don't want to be doing all that stuff, so I like to minimize.
Yeah. Well, and for people that know, we're going to talk more in the coming week. Shay is going to Japan, and this is really exciting. It's going to be a treat for everybody. Going to Japan, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it'll be cool, because like we've talked about, all the exclusive games that are over there that a lot of American people aren't aware of, I'll get to talk about, and they'll hear about it here, and you guys will hear about it, and then hopefully I can start sending you guys games and stuff this is where play share will actually be beneficial. Like if I'm playing a cool PS4 game that you guys can't get over here, just play share it with me. You guys will be like, I just played this crazy Japanese game, and it's gonna be exciting. Yeah, it's a really exciting time.
I got a good idea for a segment. Shay's Shanghai. I don't know.
And that makes so much sense, him being in Japan and all.
Yeah, Shanghai's not the right country.
Oh fuck! I tried.
It's clearly in Taiwan.
Wow.
We will. I didn't. Shay's Japan didn't have.
I think you're thinking of Manila.
What's a famous city in Japan that has an S in the beginning?
Osaka, Tokyo. Oh, an S in it.
Sasebo. I actually grew up there.
There you go. But
Sasebo.
Yeah, the biggest cities are Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, and Okinawa.
Okay. Well, and what city are you going to?
Too.
Oh, Nagasaki, true.
What
And
city?
Fukushima.
Do you know what city you're going to yet?